Hello and thank you for viewing this video. My name is Nafeesah Muhammad-Freeman and I am a doctorate student at Aspen University. I currently am in pursuit of my educational doctorate in K-12 leadership. At this time, I am a special education high school teacher teaching 9th grade pre-AP biology to students who have been identified as having learning disabilities. I want to take a moment to discuss motivational theories and how they manifest themselves within the workplace. Motivational theories are theories based on human motivation and drive. They are used to identify the factors which are the driving force behind an individual's actions. These theories allow an organization's leader to determine the motivational needs in the workplace and how to address the individual as well as collective human capital therein. Now, depending upon that collective motivational style that has been identified within the workplace, the extrinsic motivating reinforcements can have a positive effect on the culture and the morale. So those are very good to be implemented by the leader. In implementing these different reinforcements, one can use a motivational theory. Now, there are different types of motivational theories that can be implemented into the organizational structure to improve the overall experience of each employee and their performance as a whole. Now, understanding this individual as well as the needs of the collective increases also the employee's desire to perform at a standard that is beneficial to both the team and the individual's career. Now, I want to briefly touch on 3 different motivational theories that can be introduced into the workplace and that has been part of successful organizations over the centuries and the years. Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. This is by far one of the most well-known theories, or at least it has been reported to be that. It was developed by the behavioral psychologist Abraham Maslow. Now, what he did is he took human needs and classified them as it relates to human motivation in a hierarchical level from greater to lesser importance or significance of a need. This hierarchy has been instrumental in educational leadership and educational instruction. Having a clear understanding of where motivation meets satisfaction was very revealing. Now, Maslow's theory stated that each level of need has to be obtained before the fulfillment or the pursuit of the next level. For example, the basic foundational human needs, or what we call physiological needs, are going to be such things as food, of course, shelter, the feeling of safety or survival or instinct. Those different things are at the physiological or the animal level of needs. Us as humans, this is what we desire and what we need to survive. However, esteem, self-actualization, those are going to be also important on the hierarchy, but less important or less of a need than the physiological needs. It's impossible to pursue the social aspect or the esteem aspect or even the self-actualization aspect of that hierarchy without first satisfying foundational. That could be illustrated in a classroom environment, and it's shown when a student is in an impoverished area, may not have a lot of food, may have questionable shelter, sometimes even homeless. They perform differently and have certain cognitive disadvantages due to that exposure or lack of those foundational needs and exposure to something other than safety or shelter. Now, psychologist Frederick Herzberg also expounded upon Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He took that theory and put it in a perspective of how the individual felt at the time that there was an inquisition about how they felt about their jobs. So the study consisted of participants answering questions at the time they felt good and also answering questions at the time they didn't feel so great in regards to how they felt about their jobs. What he uncovered is that If an employee felt good, they answered more favorably towards their occupation. If they had adverse feelings, then they would answer more adversely. It would be reflected in whether they were satisfied or dissatisfied with their current position based upon how they felt at that time. So it was stated that the motivators are the things that are the feel good aspects or the satisfaction aspects of the environment or the workplace. But also, there were hygiene factors or growth areas that were also indicative of this particular Herzberg motivation hygiene theory. Now, the feel good motivators are going to be achievement, recognition, the work itself, responsibility, advancement, or room for growth. These are definitely in place in a competitive workplace. And an individual that is motivated by these different motivators is definitely going to flourish in that environment. In contrast, the hygiene maintenance areas, or I like to say areas of improvement, are salary, status, job security, working conditions, and supervision. Now, supervision can be too much supervision or not enough supervision. So one can be micromanaged and really doesn't care for that, or an individual can be not provided the guidance and the growth opportunities and coaching and feedback that they need. So implementing those within a workplace is going to be very important when looking at the hygiene factors or looking at the motivators within a work environment. And it can be developed easily that way. Now, MCclelland has come up with a needs-based theory as well. This needs-based theory is similar to Maslow's hierarchy, but the major difference is that it is a learned or an acquired theory or a need, which refers to a person's experience in their life, their direct environment, or sometimes culture would have a direct effect in what kind of a need this individual displayed as an adult within the workplace. What motivates this person? Well, this person is motivated by either three things: the need for power, need for achievement, or affiliation. The need for power is wanting to be in control. That person wants to control the environment as well as make a major change in a person's life. So there'll be more transformational leadership style, but not with that need for power, because the transformational leadership style is about making change within the environment, where this one is making change in a person's life. So they're similar, but not necessarily the same thing. The motivation is fueled by the control factor. Now, this also is an individual driven by having power over another individual, or maintaining a leader-follower relationship, or a subordinate leader type of, or manager type of dynamics between the two. More importantly, that type of dynamics may not be accepted, or it may be a disadvantage in different types of organizations where relationship building and community life is very important, such as educational institutions. So that individual won't be the best leadership candidate for that environment. If that person is the individual employee, perhaps with a growth mindset, that person can grow into the individual that doesn't feel that need for power or control. Now, a need for achievement, that is defined by a person who is measuring themselves against a standard of excellence. That standard of excellence is the bar in which they measure themselves, and sometimes even higher than that. But that's at least the base level of where they're measuring their accomplishments and how they perform on the job. Now, that individual has been said by MCclelland to perform better than those with a lesser need for achievement. So if you take the need for achievement person and the need for power individual, and those in contrast, the need for achievement would be the better employee in that example. Now, a need for affiliation is basically a strong desire to be accepted or to gain approval by the masses. This individual will conform to the ideas or the ideals, of those whose companionship they value, not wanting to rock the boat kind of individual. Now, this person can be the type of individual that goes along with something that really does not resonate with their own morals and their own ethical beliefs. So someone like that definitely would have to have those types of desires not necessarily changed, but it would behoove that person that they tailored that environment and maybe merge that need for affiliation to be more the need for power, not necessarily being a follower all the time, but also being a leader, but of course with balance, as I stated before. So upon establishing a leader-follower relationship, one can definitely uncover the motivational triggers within their staff. Conducting studies, surveys, or questionnaires within the organization on a weekly, maybe bi-weekly basis, sometimes quarterly basis, will uncover the necessary components that reveals what those motivating factors are and what needs to be introduced into the environment, or that needs to be developed more if it's already present. Job satisfaction, placement, salary, as well as status, and individual needs and expectations are all going to be either motivating or demotivating. It is looked at as satisfaction or dissatisfaction. Where there's no satisfaction, then there is a lack of performance. You have employees that are looking for employment other places and not giving their full attention to where they are. Whether a person has a transactional, transformational, or charismatic leadership tendency or trait, that can be tailored to be able to fit the environment based upon what the needs are. And that is the best way to start to developing a motivational reinforcement plan to increase job satisfaction, is to tailor that style, more of a contingency type of leader, to tailor it to what the request or what the demand is of the environment. Thank you so much for viewing this video, and I hope that you have learned more about some of the motivational theories that are used in the workplace today.